Papoose is acting downright delusional with this desperate obsession over his ex, and poor Claressa Shields is trapped right in the crosshairs of a total PR disaster. The internet is screaming that Remy Ma is an absolute icon, completely unmatched, and they are dragging anyone who says otherwise. You simply cannot duplicate the one and only blueprint. Remy is that girl. Period. She always has been. That is the undeniable gospel her fanbase is preaching, pointing directly to a legendary career that speaks for itself. She delivers unmatched impact back-to-back, calendar year after calendar year. But let us talk about the absolute clown behavior coming from Papoose lately. Onlookers are completely exhausted by his constant archiving because he refuses to stop living in 2005. Seriously, every single day this man is digging up some ancient history to stay relevant. The internet is tired of it, especially when these moldy milestones are forced into every single conversation. Like, who cares about a random verse you dropped 2 decades ago? Industry insiders say clinging frantically to your expired glory days just proves you are stuck in reverse while everyone else is moving into the future. Meanwhile, the culture recognizes that Remy is still expanding her empire and solidifying her status as a permanent royalty. People are also completely obliterating that fake narrative about him saving her. Word on the street is that Remy was actually the one keeping the entire ship afloat behind closed doors. She carried the heavy financial load and maintained structural stability during their darkest eras. So watching him throw petty shade and force these goofy comparisons now has onlookers calling it pure, unadulterated envy. Be serious right now. The level of insecurity is embarrassing. Commentators note that when Papoose isn't desperately fishing for headlines, the spotlight shifts directly onto his new gym partner's messy behavior. At this point, the rumor mill is generating way more noise than any actual facts these two have shown the world. No matter how much TikTok tries to hype up this fake romance, people see right through the smoke and mirrors. Honestly, the whole spectacle is just tragic. Fans believe a decorated champion like Claressa Shields had a flawless legacy going and shouldn't have degraded herself for internet clout and a messy rap feud. 4 months, Twitter has accused the boxer of trying to skinwalk Remy Ma's whole aesthetic. From the designer outfits and slogans to the staged paparazzi shots and matching energy, the Shade Brigade clocks the identical styling every single time they post. The second Remy steps out, the champion instantly mimics her wardrobe. That is the running joke dominating the comment sections. Making matters worse, nobody believes this is just a random coincidence. Critics point out that Papoose conveniently ignores the plagiarism rumors, which basically validates the entire conspiracy theory. Consequently, every single new outfit change, caption, or Instagram story gets completely dissected by messy blogs. Meanwhile, Team Remy keeps reminding the world that she created her own lane from scratch and trademarked an entire culture. Because of that, reality, you're going to get compared to the queen if you actively try to steal her signature style. And when Papoose attempts to clap back at the haters online, the public completely cooks him without mercy. Give it up already. Stop embarrassing yourself. Why are you actively competing against the woman who made you? That is the exact energy flooding his replies on a daily basis. The toxic debate over who really funded whose lifestyle has reached a literal boiling point. Let's keep it real. Onlookers keep echoing the exact same harsh truth. They know Remy was funding the entire household while she was locked away. According to the streets, she was sending cash stacks home and ensuring every single bill was paid despite her own legal nightmare. Look at the receipts she dropped after her release. She publicly exposed that when she came home, the bank accounts were drained and her assets were completely mismanaged despite the fortune she supplied. Those explosive revelations shattered the fake loyal husband narrative that he pushed for over a decade. Now, nobody wants to hear him brag about his bare minimum sacrifices. When he whines about visiting her in prison every week, fans instantly remind him that visiting your spouse is standard marital protocol. The consensus is that loyalty requires mutual effort, especially when one party is literally financing the entire operation from a prison cell. The plot gets even juicier when you revisit that cringy archived footage of an old interview Claressa Shields did alongside Papoose. In that infamous clip, she literally labeled him her personal savior, gushing over how he magically materialized whenever drama erupted. She claimed that whenever the world crashed down, Papoose was right there to pick up the pieces. But the internet completely deconstructed that fake narrative. Skeptics pointed out that being physically present at the scene of a crime doesn't make you a hero. It just means you are standing in the wreckage. That sharp distinction instantly became viral fuel for messy blogs tracking this unfolding disaster. Then, Remy Ma loyalists pulled out the ultimate receipts, the timeline. They reminded everyone that back in the mid-2000s, Remy was riding a massive wave of chart-topping hits, releasing undeniable projects, and dominating the entire culture. Right at her peak, Papoose fumbled his way into a highly theatrical major label signing that he still talks about today. That contract, rumored to be a cool $1.5 million, created insane media hype and monstrous expectations. Too bad critics note it completely failed to generate any long-term cultural impact or classic records. Because of that massive flop, fans constantly contrast their trajectories, laughing at how Remy solidified her legendary status, while Papoose's entire identity relies on a dead contract from decades ago. That brutal reality check triggers a total meltdown in his comment section every time their names are mentioned together. Then came the ultimate downfall. By 2007, Papoose's overhyped music deal was abruptly terminated after the record label quietly washed their hands of the underperforming rapper. Just like that, the multi-million-dollar fantasy that fueled his massive ego vanished into thin air. For messy historians, that exact moment is the definitive proof they still use to humble him today. Around that identical window, Remy Ma found herself trapped in a brutal criminal trial stemming from a chaotic shooting outside a Manhattan nightclub. By the following year, her entire world was turned upside down, transforming her legal battle into the most explosive headline in rap history. Over the years, countless conspiracies and industry rumors have swirled regarding what truly went down that night. But most of those theories remain messy gossip rather than actual verified truth. And that is exactly where petty commentators begin drawing parallel lines to this brand new mess. They point out that Claressa Shields was busy building an absolutely bulletproof legacy inside the boxing ring. She was collecting world titles, earning global respect, and cementing her status as an elite, generational sports icon. Her unmatched accolades did all the talking, and her professional momentum was completely unstoppable. Then, the second her name got tangled up with Papoose in the messy gossip blogs, critics started scrutinizing every single aspect of her career under a microscope. The first major red flag to shatter her pristine image was a sudden positive drug test that set the internet on fire. The shocking scandal triggered aggressive media coverage and messy accusations across every single platform. Eventually, official reports confirmed that subsequent investigations completely exonerated her and the initial finding was overturned. Even so, the blogs argue that the toxic headlines inflicted permanent damage long before her name was officially cleared. They know that once a scandal goes viral, the public always remembers the dirty accusation far longer than the quiet apology. Because of that harsh reality, messy onlookers claim that toxic associations will completely ruin your public perception, whether it is fair or not. They argue that the company you keep dictates exactly how your major career moments are judged online. That is why the Shade Room refuses to drop this topic, analyzing exactly how terrible PR moves destroy legendary careers. Pay attention to who is riding shotgun in your life. Take a hard look at the toxic circle you choose to protect. That is the exact warning critics keep screaming while dissecting this absolute train wreck. They know damn well that public alignments completely reshape your entire legacy, regardless of your innocence. Some messy blogs are even hinting that when a man is always lurking around to fix your messy problems, it makes you wonder if he was pulling the strings behind the scenes from day one. Granted, those are just wild internet theories and unverified allegations, not actual courtroom facts. Instead, the narrative has devolved into a petty game of comparison and forced rivalry. Onlookers point directly to toxic statements like, "Oh, she isn't a runner-up. She is the undisputed number one," proving that those exact arrogant captions only throw high-octane gasoline onto a raging fire. For most of the internet, this is no longer about athletic greatness. It is purely about messy, low-tier relationship drama. Other critics are taking a far more savage stance. They argue that since Papoose is still legally tied to his marriage, arguing over who ranks higher in his life is completely embarrassing anyway. Twitter users are having an absolute field day, joking that nobody is winning first or second place in this pathetic situationship. According to the internet, this entire delusional debate is completely missing the real issue. What makes this whole circus so infuriating is that literally everyone acknowledges Claressa Shields' historic greatness. Haters and fans alike completely respect her legendary journey, bowing down to everything she conquered and achieved throughout her life. Her motivational story, gold medals, and dominance in women's boxing are completely undeniable facts. That is precisely why sports purists find these trashy headlines so deeply depressing. They argue that instead of celebrating historic athletic milestones and legendary championship reigns, her name is being dragged through cheap relationship rumors and bottom-tier internet drama. In their eyes, this entire media circus completely disrespects the blood, sweat, and tears she invested over the years. At the exact same time, consumers claim that the public image of Papoose has completely deteriorated as more receipts, side-eyes, and call-outs flood the internet. They are looking at his historical narratives with fresh eyes, completely rejecting the phony, loyal king persona they blindly believed in the past. And that brings the entire culture right back to the unwritten law of association. The rule is simple. The toxic people you attach yourself to will inevitably stain your choices, your reputation, and your ultimate legacy. Whether you want to accept that reality or live in denial, it remains the absolute biggest talking point, driving this entire viral disaster. Absolutely. Critics tracking this mess argue that life has become infinitely more chaotic for Claressa Shields ever since she publicly aligned herself with Papoose on the blogs. They keep pointing directly to those toxic text messages that Remy Ma casually dropped online, which sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry. According to those messy sources, the screenshots exposed Claressa desperately begging to stay in contact with Papoose, constantly monitoring his location, asking him to call her, and pursuing an active relationship. Those embarrassing exchanges instantly became the top trending topic worldwide, with fans debating the hidden motives and blatant betrayal exposed between these creators. What made the online backlash infinitely worse was the undeniable fact that Papoose was still very much trapped in his marriage while these secret conversations were actively going down. Critics weaponized that exact timeline to completely obliterate the fake, wholesome narratives they tried pushing on Instagram. As a direct result, social media spent weeks arguing over who was lying, who was delusional, and how this entire home-wrecking situation should be judged. Commentators also note that embarrassing controversies have continued to plague her career back-to-back. They point right back to that sketchy drug testing scandal that ruined her headlines before later updates tried to salvage her reputation. Even though her team eventually cleared the air, critics argue the massive media circus created a completely toxic and unnecessary distraction. From that point on, more public feuds and dramatic fallouts just kept piling up. Onlookers frequently bring up her chaotic Twitter beefs with other legendary figures in boxing, alongside sketchy reports about canceled fights and fractured professional partnerships. Fair or completely unfair, the internet believes each new negative headline feeds into a nasty narrative that keeps erasing her historic athletic achievements. That is exactly why critics argue this toxic association has become an inescapable curse whenever Claressa tries to promote her upcoming matches. They firmly believe the world should be discussing her undisputed belts, legendary knockouts, and career milestones instead of analyzing trashy relationship gossip and internet speculation. Others point directly to her defensive public rants, suggesting that her chaotic reactions to the haters have only amplified the intense scrutiny surrounding her personal life. In their view, stacking a messy cheating scandal on top of existing sports criticism creates a public relations nightmare that is completely impossible to manage. Because of that, critics argue Claressa Shields does not need any additional baggage weighing down her brand. They believe she has already cemented a flawless, self-made career and should be laser-focused on shielding her incredible athletic legacy. As for Papoose, the internet remains highly suspicious of his real motives, aggressively questioning his messy role in this toxic triangle. Though those theories remain wild blog allegations rather than legally proven facts. And let us talk about the absolute chaos unfolding over in the comment section. The internet is dropping some incredibly savage takes on how this entire disaster unfolded, and the most brutal observations are going completely viral. According to the Shade Brigade, This whole circus did not just drop out of thin air. Fans are digging up old footage proving Claressa and Remy Ma used to be perfectly friendly, suggesting this blatant betrayal is exactly why the public is completely roasting the boxer now. Consequently, messy critics argue that the intense online backlash she is enduring is simply the direct consequence of her own shady choices. Others are keeping it even more real, stating she is getting the exact toxic karma she put out into the world. That exact reality check is being repeated across every single pop culture platform. While a few deluded fans disagree with that harsh perspective, it has quickly become the ultimate consensus among people tracking this viral feud. At the exact same time, the internet notes that the blame doesn't rest on her shoulders alone. Onlookers are pointing fingers directly at Papoose, accusing him of playing toxic mind games and throwing out mixed signals, though those claims remain unverified internet gossip rather than established reality. Critics note that he is doing just enough to keep both women hooked for attention while completely dodging the real questions about his broken marriage. That sketchy behavior has fueled insane speculation regarding where the loyalty truly lies in this messy situation. Meanwhile, Remy's music is actively weaponized in this unfolding war. Music listeners are dissecting her latest tracks and connecting the dots straight to this real-life drama, especially after her explosive new collaboration with French Montana and Maxby dropped. One specific bar completely set the internet on fire when she rapped, "Come pick up your clothes." That iconic line instantly triggered flashbacks to past viral interviews where Remy openly discussed boxing up his belongings and moving on with her life. The second fans heard that lyric, Twitter erupted into absolute madness with chaotic theories and breakdown videos. Some believe it was a direct lethal shot, while others think it was just a genius piece of art inspired by her messy divorce. Either way, the cultural impact was massive. The internet completely flooded the timeline, clipping the audio and debating the hidden shade nonstop. The record is rapidly climbing the charts while fans celebrate both her musical victory and the hidden daggers laced inside her performance. And just like we predicted, while Remy's boss moves are dominating headlines, Papoose tried to hijack the conversation with a completely pathetic distraction. He randomly hopped online asking, "What is the most legendary verse of all time?" before desperately directing people back to a song he dropped nearly 20 years ago. That desperate cry for help stood out like a sore thumb. Critics immediately clapped back, wondering why this man is forced to sprint back to his expired glory days instead of showing us something current. To the culture, it felt like another classic case of a washed-up artist trying to relive past victories while Remy's locomotive continues steaming forward. Messy onlookers are also drawing direct parallels between his delusional ego and the chaotic way Claressa responds to her critics online. According to the blogs, both of them suffer from an obsessive need to prove their worth to the public instead of letting their actual resumes do the talking. Whether you love them or hate them, that exact insecurity has become a running joke in the culture. The absolute biggest critique aimed at Papoose is his embarrassing habit of self-praise. Fans are screaming that giving yourself a legendary title is drastically different from letting the culture naturally hand you your flowers. In the real world, true respect is earned when your peers crown you, not when you are forced to remind everyone of your existence on a daily basis. And the immediate fallout from his vanity only threw high-octane gasoline onto a raging fire. The second those cringe tweets started circulating, social media users completely obliterated his mentions with zero mercy. The replies devolved into a brutal graveyard of memes and direct call-outs, with people demanding to know why ancient history was being used as a shield against current failure. Once again, the lesson for the audience is glaringly obvious. Having confidence is fine, but weaponizing your expired pride will always backfire on you. That is precisely why industry insiders believe both Papoose and Claressa have wasted far too much energy obsessing over Remy's bag instead of lane switching to fix their own failing operations. Meanwhile, the undisputed queen keeps collecting headlines, dropping anthems, and running the conversation. Pride always comes right before the ultimate downfall. That is the exact phrase the internet is using to summarize this absolute train wreck. Whether you agree with the public roasting or not, one reality is completely undeniable. This messy feud has locked social media in a chokehold, and the chaotic debate shows zero signs of slowing down anytime soon. How do you feel about this absolute mess? Sound off in the comments below. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video everywhere, and flip that notification bell on so you never miss another exclusive drop. Appreciate you watching, and we will link up in the next breakdown. Lock in.